Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this fifth day session of Manage Exam Stress. So, since past 4 days, you all have been with all of us, right? And we have been through this journey learning so many things so that we can give best during our exam time. And why only when exam time? We can give our best whenever required into our, in our lifetimes. So, like first day, we saw how we can manage our stress. What are the tools to use during our, stress times? We have learned heartfulness meditation, right? Then we have learned how to relax ourselves. Heartfulness relaxation we have seen that we can go visit our body parts and focus them to relax, give them commands from toes till top of the head. And then finally we rest in the heart. And then while meditating, we focus on the heart and give a suggestion that there is a divine light already present in my heart. Apart from these two techniques, we have also learned left nostril breathing so that we can calm ourselves during the anxiety periods. Then in the second day, we saw how to overcome fear, how we can regain our courage. And we have learned the fear detox techniques. We learned how to manage our time. And also we learned about how we can maintain our inner balance, how we can be well centered deep within us so that we don't lose our inner radar. We remain centered in whatever situations we are so that we can give our best. After all these topics, now we turn on to a very crucial and very interesting topic called discipline. And to present this, we have a very special speaker with us today from Australia. We have Sister Elizabeth Denley. So let me share her profile with you all. Dr. Elizabeth Denley, she has done her postdoctoral research from Stanford University, a PhD in ecology from University of Sydney, Australia, BSc Honours First Class and University Medal from University of Sydney, Australia. She has been managing director of various companies in Australia, like Denley Consulting, ICCG, HTC Global. She has worked as data research scientist. And her skills are, she likes to be like in a perfect balance between material and spiritual aspect of life. And actually that is what we all are seeking for, right? So that we achieve our excellence. Moving ahead, she has various achievements. She is the main core member for designing our Heartfulness Way curriculum, which is for standard 1st to 9th. She has also done various trainings for teachers, and she already completed over 10,000 teachers in more than 500 schools and colleges to create a conscious learning environment. And presently also she is working for help life skills sessions for schools. Now these help life skills sessions are specially designed for students of standard 10 and 12. So she is a very core and active member in our school related activities of Heartfulness. So it gives me immense pleasure to present you Elizabeth, sister. So I hand over this session to you for your further proceedings.
Thank you, Pooja. And hello, everybody. I'm absolutely delighted to be here with you. And hopefully today we'll look at some more ways that you can really master this idea of exam technique and how to just stay balanced and calm during this very crucial and difficult period for all of you. So I'm going to do a presentation in the background while I'm talking. But I want this more to be about you. This is not learning information. We're going to do some activities together. We're going to look at ways that you can really feel comfortable in your own skin. And of course, I got the worst topic of all. They gave me discipline to do. And of course, discipline has such, it's one of those words that you think, oh my God, discipline, I don't like that very much. But hopefully by the end of this session, you'll understand that it's actually not such a bad thing. So we're looking at exam stress through Heartfulness, and this is the last session. So hopefully we'll sum up some of the main ideas and look at how to create routines and some structure in our lives so that we can really, really tackle this problem the best way possible. So first of all, what is discipline? Is it such a yucky, horrible thing? Well, not really. If you look at the origin of the word from Latin, it just means learning and knowledge. It's a way of creating a structure in your life so that you can be organized enough to do the things you want to do. Simple as that. So those things obviously for you at the moment include your studies, your academic work, but they can't just include those things if you're going to do well in your exams and if you're going to stay balanced and you're going to stay calm enough to do the best you can possibly do in those exams. So managing the stress of exams and being able to master that is also about other things like getting enough exercise, being able to focus inwards through meditation, eating well, sleeping well, so many things combined together to allow you to do the best you can possibly do. It's also this concept of if not now, when? Because we often procrastinate, we put things off. It's much nicer to watch a movie than to study. We all know that. And we all need breaks. Nobody says that when you're preparing for exams, you have to be only studying. That would be a very wrong approach to this. But how are we going to maximize time? How are we going to make this the most effective, the smartest way of operating, of living our lives before the exams come along? So that's what we're going to explore here, because that's what discipline is. So first we can say that discipline is a bridge between our goals and our accomplishments. So it all depends what your goals are. You know, for your exams, if your goals are to do the very, very best you can do, then your accomplishment should match that if possible. If your goal is just to do well enough to get into the course that you want to do after this, it's a different story. You'll put a different level of energy, a different level of enthusiasm into what you're doing. So it's very, very important when you look at how you're preparing for exams, how you're managing the stress leading up to exams and the stress in the exams themselves, to understand what is it you expect from yourself? What are your goals at this time? And all I can say from personal experience, and many other people have said the same thing too, is that this discipline develops naturally when you love what you do, when you're interested, when you have enthusiasm. And that's difficult in your final year school exams because it's very, very hard to stay focused on what you love about what you're doing in the current situation, I know. But you have to find it somehow. You have to find your inspiration. You have to find your enthusiasm by remembering why you're doing it and looking at what you want to get from this, how the subjects inspire you. Find the bits that you love the most out of what you're doing so that you can put your heart into it, because without that, it's an uphill battle. It's a chore. With heart, with interest, When you love what you do, there is no struggle. There is no battle to study. Obviously, you'll all love some subjects more than others. That's normal. But find what it is in each one that allows you to have enthusiasm and interest. And you'll find that the whole thing gets lighter, becomes so much easier. And that's the same in everything in life. Whether you go to university and you want to do a degree, whether you become a professional photographer like the guy in the middle, or musician, or a carpenter like the guy on the right who's doing the most amazing woodwork. It's the same in any field. Whether you become a sports person, you may decide you want to join the Indian cricket team, you will need the same level of discipline. Just imagine if you were a Rohit Sharma or a Tendulkar and you didn't have discipline. You would never get to where those players are, because it's required to excel in any field. So we're going to do a little exercise now. I want you to go through, we're going to go through each one of these, and I want you to think about how it impacts your life. What are your habits in this area? You don't have to share them with anyone. You're not sharing them with us on this call. This is purely for your benefit. So first thing, what are my daily habits with digital technology? My phone, my tablet, my computer, whichever you have. Do I wake up and go straight for my phone to look at? Is it with me just before I go to sleep? What are my habits? Because this will have a huge impact on how well you do with your studies. It's not that phones are bad, it's not that computers are bad, but are we the master of our gadgets, or are they the master of us? This is the question you have to ask yourself. To take a minute to think even about today. What impact did your digital technology have on you today, from the time you woke up till now? Just make a note of it, either a mental note or write it down. And think about what you'd like to do differently if you're going to do well in your exams, if you're going to create a discipline around the habit of digital technology. Anyone who wants to post comments in the chat, you're most welcome also. If you want to share anything, please go ahead. But you don't need to. Okay, next one. You can think about these afterwards too. Think over it the next few days and look at your habits and see what you want to change in them. This is not for anyone else to tell you. It's for you to evaluate yourselves. Second one, what is your sleep routine? What time do you go to bed at night? Do you shut down all your technology and relax and wind down before bedtime? Or are you still watching videos or playing video games or chatting with friends on Instagram or Facebook or whatever just before sleep? Because I guarantee you, if you're doing those things, the radiation from the digital technology as well as the mental stimulation means that you're not relaxing and winding down before bedtime. It'll take you longer to go to sleep. There's a lot of science on sleep out there now, which indicates that if you're not going to sleep before 11 at least, ideally before 10, you're not going to get enough sleep for your body and for your mind to be active and focused the next day. And as teenagers, you really need a minimum of 8 hours sleep to do well, sometimes longer. And unless you create that routine where you're going to bed and waking up at the same time, if your sleep patterns are all over the place, not only will your skin be worse, will your physical strength be worse, will your muscles be less strong, all those things, but your immunity will be down, which is not a good thing during COVID times. So sleep is critical to good thinking. I know it's hard when you're trying to cram for exams, but the ideal is not to cram. The ideal is to plan, to be organized enough. And certainly on the nights before exams, it's good to have a very good night's sleep so that you're alert and functional during the exams. So think about that over the next week. Look at your sleep routine. You've learned the left nostril breathing. You've learned the relaxation. We're going to do relaxation again today. Use those very short practical methods to help you fall asleep so that you can sleep on time and do well in your exams. Next thing, what do you eat? How do you eat? When do you eat? So what are your eating patterns like? Are you eating healthy food that's going to support good brain function, a healthy body? That's the first step. Second step, how do I eat? Are you rushing? Are you eating on the go while you're studying and working on your computer? Or do you take time out to have breaks to eat? It's very, very important if you want to digest your food well, not to be eating at the same time that you're studying, for example. I mean, it's okay to have snacks and drinks every now and then while you're studying, but the ideal is that you have your meals sitting down when you take a break, so that your body is able to absorb and digest the food. And again, you're healthier to be able to cope with exam stress and what you're going through. And when do you eat? Well, one thing's important is not to eat dinner late at night. Because otherwise, if you're eating dinner late at night and not giving your body the chance to digest your food before you go to sleep, you won't have a healthy sleep because your body's trying to do two things at once. It's trying to digest your food and it's trying to sleep. And those two things are not meant to go together. So if your family eats late, ask your mum or whoever's cooking for you if you can eat earlier. It's pretty important to do that when you're studying so that you give your body a break and you really can be as healthy as you can be. Next, what is your exercise routine? Look at this habit in yourself. Do you have a regular exercise routine, ideally every day? Even if it's only 5-10 minutes, even if it's only taking time out when you're studying to stand up and stretch and do a few simple exercises, or go for a walk around the block, or do whatever you need to do. Go outside and kick a football or play badminton or whatever you enjoy. Something that will help clear the toxins out of your body so that your brain functions better. It's really critical because your brain doesn't have a limp system. It actually gets rid of all the toxins at night when you're sleeping. And this is made easier when you exercise well. So these are all really simple disciplines. Set a time every day. That's what I meant about having a routine. If you can stick to a routine and develop good habits, you'll find that discipline is really easy. And it happens when you have a goal. And that goal may be, I want to do well enough to go on and do this. Or I want to do the best I possibly can. Whatever is your goal, these disciplines will help you achieve it. Next one is a struggle for most people, whether old, young. How easy is it to choose beneficial activities over pleasure? So we all know this one. I have to study maths, but there's a really good movie I want to watch, or friends coming over and we just want to go out and have a coffee or whatever. Of course it's difficult, and of course everybody wants to do the things that they love most. And at your age, relationships, friends are super important. So don't ignore your friends. Don't shut yourself away, But try and do activities with your friends that are going to support your exam preparation. You may study together. It's a great way to learn. You can ask each other questions. It's much easier than studying on your own. You can do things like go out for walks together or do exercise together or something that's going to enhance your experience. And of course, if you need to take breaks sometimes to watch movies, to go out with friends, that's also okay. Just try and create a balance with it so that you're not overindulging and taking time away from necessary preparation that you have to do. There are ways to do it. And lastly, on this slide, how would I describe my study habits? This is something that's important. Where do I sit to study, or where do I stand, or where do I walk when I'm reading, or what do I do? How do I do it? Is it the most productive? Am I sitting in a room with the TV on with my brothers and sisters watching TV and trying to study? It's not going to work very well. Is the room I'm working in conducive? Is it calm and allowing me to be focused? All these things. What time do I study to? Do I cram? All the things that can maybe make us work hard but not work smart. When you're preparing for exams, you need to work smart. You need to take breaks. You need to do revisions so that you check that you're actually learning stuff and not just reading stuff, for example. These are all aspects of discipline, and they're all important. You may be looking at all this now thinking, oh my God, I'm nowhere with all this. I'm really struggling and I'm not good at any of these things. Well, don't give up. As they say, every day is a fresh start. All of us struggle with these things. Many adults, many 80-year-olds struggle with these things. You're not alone. But what's clear is that the people who are going to succeed the most and do the best look at all these and come up with simple plans to try and make their days more effective. So here are two concepts that are important to understand if you want to develop discipline. The first one is that discipline can prevent problems and it can also respond to problems. So let me give you some examples so you understand. For example, if I'm eating well, sleeping well, exercising well, etc., my discipline is such that my life is pretty orderly. I'm likely to know what exams are coming up. I've planned for them well. I've read all the material. I'm not going to rush at the last minute. I've done some preventative action. I've made sure my health is good. I made sure my mental health is good. And I've also prepared adequately, so at the last minute, I'm not rushing. But discipline can also be responsive. What happens when I feel like I'm not prepared for an exam? Or even though I've studied hard, I'm still struggling. I'm still nervous. I'm still stressed. I don't know if I'm going to do well enough. Discipline then kicks in because I'm able to sit down and say, okay, let me pause. Let me do some left nostril breathing for a few minutes just to calm down. And now let me sit and figure out how to make the best use of my time going forward. If somebody's upsetting me, because often when we're stressed before an exam, we get easily irritated by brothers and sisters who aren't being considerate enough, or other family members who seem to be ignoring the fact that we've got so much going on at the moment, or a friend who's not supportive enough, so many different things. Just take time out and look at your responses and figure out how to just step back and not create extra stress for yourself. Because the only person you're hurting by creating this extra stress is yourself. Other people are not trying to mess you around. They're just living their lives. They don't understand necessarily what you're going through. So it helps to understand the fact this discipline is preventative. It helps me to create better conditions for myself. It's also responsive in that how I respond to what's going on around me, I can control that also. I can master that through some very important practices. And this is what we come to next. It requires self-awareness. And it means that sometimes you have to look inside yourself and see how you're feeling. It also means that you need to make wise choices for yourself. For example, when to study, when to take breaks, when to exercise, when to go to bed at night, when to see friends, all these things. These are choices that you will know what to do very well for yourself. If you're aware of yourself, if you're aware what your limits are by looking inside yourself. And that's what we're going to focus on now. That's why we meditate. That's why we relax, because we want to master our inner condition. We want to master our emotions so that we can be better versions of ourselves. Nothing more than that. We don't meditate to meditate. We meditate to become better human beings, realize more of our potential. And what we can easily say, this is an easy way to remember it, is that, because discipline's all about regulating our flow of energy. How much energy are we giving out and dissipating from our system? How much are we conserving and using for ourselves, for our own purposes, especially at this time? And during the day, there's an outflow and an inflow of energy that's very natural. At night, energy flows inwards and we sleep in that condition. We wind down in that condition. In the morning, when we wake up, our energy starts to flow outwards into the day, which is why we feel active. We feel alert at those times. Make use of this. Watch your energy flows. You can see it through your nostrils. I'm sure when you talked about left nostril breathing, you went through this theory that when the right nostril is active, it means that you're in active mode. It's time to do. It's time to be very alert and awake doing things. When your left nostril is active, it means you're absorbing, you're calming down, you're reflecting. You can test it out for yourself and make use of it. And when we do this, we can say that a disciplined mind is like an efficient water tap. It flows as we need it. When we need to rest, we rest. When we need to be active, we're active. When we need to have fun, we have fun. When we need to be very serious and focused, we're serious and focused. We get the balance right just by experimenting with ourselves and understanding our daily patterns. Some people study better early in the morning, others late at night. Everybody's different. You need to understand your own patterns and work with them. So now we're going to come on to these practices which help us to do all this, which help us to self-regulate, because meditation regulates the mind. It allows us to master our emotions, our feelings. It leads to focus and concentration. So if we need to be able to concentrate to study, meditation before we start studying will be a very effective thing to do, even if it's only for 10 minutes. It'll help you learn to regulate your mind, calm yourself, be centered, and then put your energies into your study. And heartfulness meditation, which is what we're going to do today, it also brings a lot of clarity, balance, and calmness into your mind. And this is what allows you to focus and leads to excellence in whatever you do, whether it's archery or a maths assignment, or if you're a musician or an artist, it will help you in everything you do. But before we do the meditation, I just want to share with you a few affirmations, which what you can do is you can write these on Post-it notes or little bits of paper, stick them on the fridge or stick them on the bathroom mirror so you see them first thing in the morning. when you're cleaning your teeth or washing your face. And you can say them to yourself because they will help you feel positive. They will help you to believe in yourself and have that self-confidence that allows you to have the courage to just keep going, even when you feel like everything's falling apart. And they will pull you out of that negative spiral where you think, oh, I'm just not good at this, or I'm not going to do well, etc. It'll pull you out of that stress that we all create for ourselves sometimes. So first one, I feel happy and joyful and grateful. Just that. When you tell yourself every day, especially if you're looking in the mirror, from your post-it note on the bathroom mirror, I feel happy, joyful, and grateful. Smile when you say it. It'll help a lot. And it will do wonders for your mood and your self-confidence. Second one, and you can choose any of these three. You can do one week, second one another week. You do what feels right for you. You choose the ones that you like, either 1, 2, or all 3 of them, and you use them over the next few weeks as you need to help yourself be motivated. Second one, I am clear, calm, and confident with my words and actions. And third one, I feel balanced, centered, and relaxed. Now, I hope you all know what being centered means. You learn this from meditation. It means that you're able to go inward to your center and just create that balanced calmness in yourself. It's a great thing to do before an exam. So you can even say these affirmations before your exam if you want to, or one of them. But this one, I feel balanced, centered, and relaxed, is a great one to say just before an exam, because you'll anyway be tense. You can't be completely relaxed before an exam. You need to have some level of energy so that you can do the exam well. But this will just stop it from getting out of control and creating anxiety in you or fear in you. It's not going to make you completely relaxed. No one is before an exam. But it will help you. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to experience relaxation and meditation. And then after that, so if you have got a journal, have your journal and a pen or pencil with you, next to you when you're meditating, because we're going to do a little exercise after the meditation. And you'll need your journal to do that, to write in it. Also, if you have a phone with you, which probably most of you do, put it on silent if you can. And just try and not be distracted by it, looking at messages, texting friends and all that sort of stuff, because you won't get the benefits of this. You won't learn how effective this is if you're constantly being distracted by that. So now I want you to sit in a comfortable position. Can be either on a chair or on the floor, cross-legged, on your bed, on a sofa, wherever. But make sure you're sitting and not lying down. Because if you lie down, you'll go to sleep, which we don't want to do this time. So when the session starts, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. And I will give you guided instructions how to do the relaxation and then the meditation. And then after that, when I say please start meditation, it'll be silent by that stage for maybe about 10 minutes. And at the end, I'll say that's all. Try to remain relaxed and peaceful in that silence. I know it's not always easy. And if you need to open your eyes, you can, but you won't get the benefits if you keep being distracted. Try to stay inside yourself and just enjoy the experience. Treat it like a treasure hunt when you're a little kid. You're looking at what's going on inside you. You're going into this inner universe just like in Star Wars, you go to a new planet or something. Here you're going into inner planets, into an inner universe, and discovering what's happening within. Okay, so I want you to sit comfortably. Close your eyes. And we're going to relax. So bring your attention to your toes. Wiggle your toes if you want to, just to make sure that you're focused on them. And now feel the energy from the earth below you coming up into your feet. It's going to move up your body as we do the relaxation. But let's start with the toes. Let the energy from the earth relax your toes. Feel it moving into the rest of your feet to your ankles. And now let it move up from your ankles, through your lower legs up to your knees, relaxing all the muscles in your lower legs. Now feel this energy moving up your thighs all the way up to your hips. Let your whole legs relax. Now feel the energy from the earth moving up into your torso, starting with your back. Let it move up from your tailbone all the way up to your shoulders, relaxing your spine and all the muscles in your back. And now feel it moving forward into the front part of your body, relaxing your abdomen, all your abdominal muscles, your waist, up to your chest. And now let it move up to your shoulders. Drop your shoulders. Let all the tension dissolve out of your shoulders. And just let them feel completely relaxed. Now feel the energy moving down your arms, from your shoulders, through your biceps and triceps to your elbows, your forearms, down to your wrists, your hands, and let it ooze out your fingertips. Just let it all go. Now bring your attention up to your neck. Relax your neck muscles. Up to your jaw. Drop your jaw also. Feel the tension going out of your jaw. The back of your head. Feel the energy moving into your face, relaxing all your facial muscles, starting with your chin, your mouth, your nose, your cheeks, your ears, and especially your eyes. You know, we lose 80% of energy out of our bodies during the day through our eyes. We give them so much work to do. This is a chance to let them rest, feel relaxed and rejuvenated. Now feel the energy moving up your forehead all the way to the top of your head. Now I want you to scan your whole system from top to toe And see if there's anywhere where you still feel any tension or any pain, or where you have an injury or an illness. And just let that part of your body be immersed in the energy from the earth just a little bit longer. Let it heal. And when you're ready, bring your attention to your heart. Just try and rest your attention there very gently, very lightly. Feel the warmth from your heart radiating out into all the cells of your body. And now we're going to go deeper into the heart. We're going to learn to meditate on the source of light that's already present in our hearts. And it's drawing us deeper inwards. So don't try and focus, don't try and force your mind. Be very natural, very relaxed. And if other thoughts come, it's perfectly okay. Just treat them like clouds passing in the sky. You're aware of them, but you don't give them too much attention. And just come back to the heart again every time it happens. Let it be natural, but don't worry if you have lots of thoughts. It's a very normal thing. And you're learning still. So we're going to practice bringing our mind into focus. So again, we're going to meditate on the source of light that's already present in our hearts, which is drawing us deeper inwards. So please start meditation. That's all. Excuse me. Take the time, with your eyes closed if you can, to scan your whole system and see how you're feeling now. Do you feel any different than you did before the meditation? And what do you feel in your heart? Try to absorb that state, like you digest your food. Try to absorb that state into your being. And when you're ready, when you feel like you've absorbed it, open your eyes and record what you experienced in your journal. If you do this every day, if you do journaling, you'll find that you really become very self-aware. You notice changes in yourself. And you can really start to master your emotions, your inner world, and be able to focus and achieve excellence. It's really a great thing to do. And the younger you can learn to do it, the more effectively you'll develop that emotional intelligence, which is so critical for living a healthy and purposeful life. Again, it's a discipline. You know, great writers and poets carry notebooks with them everywhere so that wherever they are, they can make notes of things. It doesn't have to be big, it can just be a very small one. It's a very useful thing to do. Okay, let's now look at key takeaways from today's session. We won't go into details, but just a reminder. First of all, take interest in yourself and what you're doing. Remind yourself why you're doing things. And in the case of exams, why are you studying? Why are you doing exams? There's a reason for it, there's a purpose. And when you remember that, it gives you motivation, it gives you that sense of interest to keep going, even on days where you just don't feel engaged at all. You feel like you'd rather just go off and goof off and do something else. It just helps you maintain that momentum and keep your focus. And it's not forever. And remember too that after year 12, life still exists. You know, there's a lot of amazing things you're going to do after this. It's not the end of the world. Second thing, learn to regulate your energy flow. Observe your nostrils, observe when you're active, when you need to calm down, and go with the flow. Then you're swimming with the current, not against it. Giving your body and your mind a chance to be easily energized, and that includes getting good enough sleep, waking up and being active at the time when your body's active, etc. third thing that's important is take small steps every day to improve. Don't try and do everything at once. Give yourself small goals. It may be a simple goal that you're going to take a break every hour and you're studying and go outside for a walk or drink water to keep yourself hydrated, or do some simple breathing exercises. Things, very simple things can help you create good habits, both in studying and for life, in terms of getting your lifestyle balance, your work-life balance happening now. Because when you go out into the big wide world in jobs, etc., it becomes even more critical that you do that. And if you start these habits now, they'll stay with you for life. Through meditation, learn to listen to your heart to make wise choices. The mind procrastinates. The mind looks at pros and cons. I could do this, I could do that. What if I did this? The heart will always tell you what's right. It just is your radar. It's like, it is always going to guide your conscience to make the right choice. Even when you're struggling with that, even when you don't want to do it, your heart will tell you what's right if you learn to listen to it. If you stop listening to it, it'll give up in the end. But it's worth doing because it's a skill for life that'll really keep you in good stead. Next thing, meditation helps you focus and unlock your true potential. Try and do a little bit every day. Doesn't have to be a lot. Doesn't have to eat into your study time. But I guarantee you, even if you wake up 10 minutes earlier in the morning and do 10 minutes of meditation, it sets you for the day. It's like recalibrating yourself so that then everything falls into balance, falls into alignment. You can start the day in a really good headspace. Heartful affirmations build your self-confidence and a positive attitude. So use them if you feel like you need to feel more confident, you're suffering from anxiety or fear or worry, etc. These will help you keep that positive focus. And last but not least, this horrible word discipline that sounds so awful but is really so wonderful is what is going to lead you to happiness and contentment. If you can do all these things, if you can create good lifestyle habits, learn to meditate on a regular basis so that your mind is well regulated and focused, you'll find that it's very easy to be happy and contented, because that happiness comes from inside. Nothing outside can give it to you. You can have the biggest house, you can have the biggest salary, the most beautiful spouse, everything going for you. But if you're not happy in here, it's not going to serve you. It's not enough. It all starts from within you, feeling good about yourself, having self-compassion, having the awareness to know when to change, when you need to do something better, when you need to change your habits, or when you're going off track a little bit. By going inside every day, you'll master this emotional world and you'll really thrive in life and be a happy and contented person. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining. And really, I wish you so well in your exams. I hope that you all do the best you can, whatever that is. And that also, not just in exams, but that in life itself, you thrive. You find, every human being has their own particular genius. Every one of us. And if you can find yours, and if you can really embrace life with happiness, with joy, and with a sense of wonder, of knowing that this is a journey that you're on, then you'll all be fantastic. And I really wish that for all of you. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Sister Denley. So I think students will surely ponder over the things that you have given the tips, and they will surely see to it that they follow as many tips as possible for their studies. So you have given all so many questions also to ponder, right? About their eating habits, about sleep habits. So many questions they have to reflect. So surely after this session, they will get back to this video again and try to reflect over their own self and the points where they can improve within themselves. Also, some tips of positive affirmations you have shared very beautifully. And those positive affirmations, surely, if all of us would inculcate in our daily lives, it's really going to help us a lot. So, thanks a lot. So, we have one question for you, Sister Elizabeth, on our YouTube. So, the question is from Swayam, and he wants to ask, how do you get to know that you can't study more and you need to motivate to make yourself relaxed?
Okay. This is why I mentioned that learning to listen to your mind and body and heart is important. Because otherwise, if you're not in tune with that, you won't know. You know, you can push yourself, you can think that, and the problem is when you're studying, you get on a roll. Okay, and you're so caught up in the whole thing that often you don't take the time to stop and listen to your body, your mind, etc. So my suggestion to you is that after every hour of studying, stop. You can set an alarm if you need to, or you can just look at the clock, stop. Just close your eyes for a minute and ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? It doesn't have to be long, but just ask yourself, do I need to take a rest? Do I need to do some exercise? Do I need to eat something? Just ask and wait and listen and see what comes. You may not be brilliant at it at first because you've probably never done that before, but it will really work. And the more you listen, the more you'll learn how to gauge yourself. Check your breathing also. You know, if you find that your breathing is shallow or not relaxed enough, or that your heart's racing, or that you're getting irritable or whatever, obviously it's time to take a break and do something else. But just get used to exploring your inner state, and you'll find that it becomes very, very easy to know. And don't worry too much either. You know, I mean, studying isn't about quantity, I mean, to a certain extent, but it's more about quality. It's about working smart. And you can only do that when you're well rested, well fed, and well exercised.
Certainly.
The other thing I was going to say to you is, if you feel like at any stage you need to do a meditation with a trainer because you need to settle down or you need to feel calm, just download the Hearts app off, you know, iOS or the Android Play Store, and just request for a meditation session. And it will really help you just to settle yourself and calm down.
Certainly. I think these tips can surely help Swayam, and that hopefully that answers your question. We have one more question, that what are the benefits of meditation?
There are so many. I mean, this could be a whole nother session on its own. I mean, I put some of them up there on the screen. You know, it regulates your mind. It settles your emotions so that you can learn to master your feeling and your thinking processes. And that's a huge help because, you know, how do you manage anger, for example? Or how do you manage fear? Or how do you manage desires or worries or guilt or anxiety? All these things. you'll find that after doing the heartfulness practices for some time, that this is the first outcome. The very first outcome is that you learn to focus your mind. So instead of thinking multiple thoughts all over the place, you learn to bring it to one simple thinking process. And then you dive from there down deeper into the feeling level. And it's only then that you start to master these emotions and learn how to use them for good purpose instead of letting them cripple you, which happens a lot of the time. The second thing is that it allows you to work with your habits. So there's a complementary process to meditation, which we call cleaning in heartfulness, which is a letting go process. It allows you to let go of your subconscious patterns, which create your habits and create your reactions to things. And after some time of doing this, you find that these habits that you don't like in yourself, like telling lies or getting upset about things that other people do, or getting jealous, or all those sorts of things, feeling guilt, doing things that make you feel guilty afterwards, they all start to drop off one after another. I mean, not just completely because of the meditation, you also have to be aware. But the meditation and the cleaning allow that process to happen. So you can really change yourself. And that's an amazing thing. I mean, the other things, I could go on for hours about this. One of the things that happens with meditation is you start to develop self-love and self-compassion. And that's such an important thing in this day and age, because so much of what's going on around us, including social media and everything that's happening on the news, do the opposite. They tell us that we're not good enough all the time. We're not beautiful enough. We're not handsome enough. We're not strong enough. We're not smart enough. We're not good enough at sport. We're not good enough at this, that, and the other thing. Every time you look at an advertisement, you're being made aware of what you should have or what you need. Every time you look on social media and you see a friend who's done something amazing and you think, God, I'm nothing, I've not done that. That's our life today. That's the world we live in. So when you start to develop this self-love and compassion from within, it changes that. It gives you the inner strength to say, it's okay. I'm who I am. Let me find my own genius and my own path and my own friends and my life. And that's a very important thing. And it brings a lot of happiness and contentment.
Thank you, sister. I hope this guidelines are surely going to help all the students. So thanks a lot for being here, taking out time. I know it's very late at your end right now, but still you have
Yes.
managed to be here for all of us. So it's so sweet to have you for this today's session. And I hope that all students are going to get benefited from all the sessions that we kept for them. And they can go and revise back the techniques from our YouTube channel. And they will certainly do the best into their exams. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sister Janvi. Thank you, all
Thank
audience.
you. Good night.
Good night. Have a